If you don't move, you freeze.
Ice crystals began forming inside the cells, and the tissue started to die. If I had stayed out 5 minutes longer, my nose would have suffered permanent tissue damage.
That was the sound of warm breath turning into tiny ice crystals.
The cold burned my finger.
The cold doesn't just affect people, it stops everything from functioning. Phones don't work properly and often shut down. Cars left outside freeze in just a few hours. Since the ground is always frozen, no fruits or vegetables can grow here. We boarded a plane in Moscow, flying east for 7 hours to Yakutsk. From there, we covered an 18-hour, 900-kilometer road trip. It's 2 a.m. and we finally arrived at the coldest village in the world. The thermometer reads minus 60.5 degrees Celsius. When we stepped out of the car, it felt like we were on another planet. The hairs in our nose were frozen, and we felt them prick with every breath. Oymyakon is home to around 800 people, spread across 1.5 square kilometers. Seeing anyone else outside is almost impossible, as if time itself has frozen in this place.
Because Oymyakon is located in a basin, there's hardly any wind. The cold just settles in and stays.
In this region, the ground stays frozen all year round. This layer of frozen earth is called permafrost, and it can reach hundreds of meters deep. To survive the cold, the villagers built a central heating system. A single coal-powered boiler sends heat to most homes through pipes. The system must run non-stop. Even a short failure puts everyone at risk. The interiors of the houses differ from traditional village homes. Heating pipes connected to the central boiler run through the rooms to keep the houses warm. To build on the frozen ground, thick wooden beams are first laid down to create a flat base. Then, the main logs go on top. A 30-centimeter thick subfloor is added, followed by insulation, and finally, the finishing floor. Each wall is made of 7-layered materials. There's wood on the outside, then basalt wool as the main insulation barrier, then plaster, mesh, foam insulation, another layer of plaster, and finally, a wooden panel inside. The windows are triple glazed, forming a vital barrier against the bone-chilling temperatures, and the attic is insulated with sawdust and soil. Combined with a stove or heating system, this setup keeps the residents warm. In nearly every building, the entrance room is intentionally left unheated.
We freeze everything in the front room.
Look at this refrigerator, natural.
Here, I have frozen milk and frozen meat that I store in the cold.
As you can see, these first 2 rooms at the entrance used for storage and as a refrigerator.
In Oymyakon, the day begins early. Yevdokia is already at the barn. Cattle farmers here wrap a cloth around the cow's udder to protect the sensitive tissue from frostbite and to keep it clean.
The udder isn't at risk of freezing anymore, but once the milk starts flowing, we have to be careful.
Because of the extreme cold in Oymyakon, no water pipes run to the buildings. They would freeze almost instantly. The cows must step out into the cold every morning and make their way to the river to drink. One by one, they step into an icy hell, moving quickly, knowing they must return before the cold becomes too harsh. Their hair became crusted with ice almost immediately.
This part of the river is not frozen because it is coming fresh from the mountain. Underground spring water meet will quick.
Point on until the end of the documentary shoot. I won't be able to stay outside for more than 10 minutes at a time, or my already frostbitten nose could get even worse. But as the documentary progresses and the temperatures drop even further, we'll be pushing our limits to show you what survival here truly demands. Air is thick with the smell of hay, warm milk, and livestock. We're about to see the wild Yakutian horses in their natural habitat.
Mikhail,
Ruhi.
here are the Yakut horses. The conditions here are so harsh that only they have been able to adapt.
What is the temperature today?
It's somewhere around minus 50 degrees Celsius here. It's also hard to be outside for a long time. We have a system of fences in the open area. They mostly graze freely.
These Yakutian horses don't need heated shelters, as they can endure minus 70 degrees Celsius outdoors day and night.
Unlike regular horses, they are short. This also helps.
This large pile of hay has been stored since summer. It's the main food supply for the horses during winter. Mikhail offered us a taste of his horse's meat and liver, which is only eaten raw and frozen in this region.
Raw horse meat.
It's full of vitamins and good stuff. Since we don't have fruit or vegetables here, we get our vitamins from meat.
Before cars, animals like horses, cattle, and of course reindeer were used for transportation.
transportation, but also for its meat, skin, and also milk.
About half a kilometer beyond the village center, frozen forest of Oymyakon begin. In this village, most people herd animals for a living, but for those like Ivan, hunting becomes the main source of income.
I am a man of the forest. These lands are my hunting grounds, and here is my tent, my home.
This fire because it is too cold here.
We must walk on the paths. The ice underneath is thin.
We made our way to the frozen river to check the fishing net he had set the day before. Ivan warned our cameraman just in time. He was about to step onto a cracked patch of ice. One wrong step could cause him to fall into the water.
Oh, hey!
And get wet.
In the winter, when it was just as cold, my dad was out riding his horse in the woods. He fell through the ice and started freezing right away. Realizing that there was no warm shelter nearby and no chance of rescue, he made the decision to shoot himself to avoid a slow, painful death.
Oh, some weather special ones. It's already frozen.
Our gear was already struggling to work in this temperature, and now this frozen lens is useless and we'll have to give up on it. To get the net, he's removing the ice from the hole using a small shovel. The fish remained alive for only a few seconds after touching the freezing air.
Water was warm, but now on the surface, this fish is shocked. It's completely frozen.
To make it easier to cut, he's warming the frozen fish by rubbing it with his hands.
And raw, while inside the tent, it's warm, but
Looks like something's been through here. There are footprints and little patches of urine left behind.
Look, roe deer tracks.
We're getting close.
Because I stayed out in the cold for more than 10 minutes,
From that side, it ran towards the forest. That's where I'll set the trap.
he hopes to catch a large animal. The hunter knows the animal follows the same path every day, so he's placing the trap along his daily route. He's covering the trap with snow. He's using a dog's tail to remove the traces smoothly. We'll return to this spot later to see what he catches. But first, Ivan wants to check the trap he set yesterday. He scans the snowy landscape carefully.
Everything here is like a book to me. When the snow falls, I track how many animals there are by their footprints. I already know how many animals live in this area.
The Saka are a Turkic people who migrated from Central Asia, and I'm from Turkey, a country whose roots also trace back to the same region. Before we continue with the documentary, I'd like to thank the sponsor of this project and explore how closely I'm connected to these people. There it is, lying on the snow, a solid catch.
You got a hare. A very big one. Quite enough for all of us to eat.
It wasn't the trap that killed it. The freezing cold did as he lay there, stuck and helpless.
So, the nature has no joke here.
This trap is smaller than the one we set today. I'm curious to see what the next catch will be. But for now, there will be meat on the fire tonight.
In Oymyakon, there are a lot of hares. During the war, it was actually because of hunting hares that our people survived.
Tamara cooked the hare and prepared a dinner table at her house.
It doesn't have any fat in it.
Light of morning, we come across something unexpected near the house. A giant snake sculpture. It's entirely made of cow waste, weighing more than 360 kilograms. It was built by a local farmer. The region's sub-zero climate also makes plumbing systems inoperable. If water pipes were installed, the water inside would freeze almost instantly. Instead, residents meet their needs, such as washing their hands from water they had previously stored in tanks.
Our sink is old. There's a bucket underneath to catch the water. When it fills up, we just take it outside and dump it.
Once again, the absence of plumbing infrastructure means that houses have no indoor showers or toilets. Instead, these essential facilities are built in the gardens, inside unheated cabins. The lack of a sewage system means that human waste remains where it is accumulated. Since waste freezes instantly upon exposure to the air, it often accumulates into frozen columns, sometimes reaching up to 1 or 2 meters in height before eventually being broken down. This one is different. It's heated, but the problem with it cannot be ventilated as the cold disrupts the heating system. This type of toilet is still preferred to be protected from the cold, despite the unpleasant odor that accumulates inside. A whole other process that takes a lot of effort. People here collect blocks of river ice and melt them to get fresh water for daily use. Right now you're looking at a vast white blanket of snow, but under, there's a frozen river, the only source of water. He's using a chisel to cut into the thick ice.
You have to work quickly if it's cold. Otherwise you'll freeze.
As we carve out solid blocks one after another, we lift them and place them onto the sled.
Yeah.
Our ancestors used to transport ice with oxen.
These huge blocks are kept either in the cold room inside the house or just outside in the backyard.
They put them in a barrel and let them melt, and then they drink it.
The ice blocks we collected together will not only be used in his own home, but also shared with neighbors so they can use the clean water to bathe. In this village, a bathing routine doesn't start with turning on a tap, but with chopping wood. The boy is grabbing a large chunk of ice given by Nikolai, and he's bringing it inside.
Our grandparents take baths for 2 hours. We usually stay for about an hour and a half.
How long does it take for you?
The next step is to turn frozen shampoo into liquid near the stove. They're rinsing themselves using a ladle. When they finish, they're dressing quickly as they'll step outside from 60 degrees Celsius to minus 54 degrees Celsius, a difference of 114 degrees Celsius. After their weekly bath ritual ends, the next morning begins early. It's 7:30 a.m. and children are waking up to a freezing cold morning, still pitch black outside. Thanks to this simple indoor tank, the kids can wash their faces and brush their teeth in the warmth of the house. But for other needs, the kids still have to use the outdoor toilet. Jana helps her daughters get dressed for school. The children wear many layers of clothing for their commute. Before they leave, Jana wraps a wool shawl tightly around their faces, covering their mouths and noses to protect them from the biting cold. Now, they're ready to go outside. The walk to school is about half a kilometer. Every winter morning, Nikolai walks his daughters. The school remains open in Oymyakon unless temperatures drop below bone-chilling minus 55 degrees Celsius. Below that point, it's too dangerous to go outside. Today, the thermometer reads minus 51 degrees Celsius. As the kids arrive at school, daily life for people like Yvonne is focused on survival and hunting. Showing us his hunting collection. These are the pelts of the foxes he tracked throughout the winter.
This one is a fully grown bear.
These bears were killed because they kept attacking my livestock. Every year they come onto my land, and each time there are more of them.
The cold in Oymyakon is so extreme, even the most durable vehicles would fail without proper preparation. If a vehicle is left outside for even a few hours without the engine running, it completely freezes and won't start again without a full defrosting process. Part is frozen solid. Metal, fuel, oil, even the battery. They start by brushing off the heavy snow that's built up on the car.
The tire has turned solid like a rock. It was minus 56 degrees Celsius outside.
The tire's gone flat, not because of a leak, but because cold temperatures cause the air molecules inside to shrink.
They are going to install this to heat the vehicle.
We try to close it tightly so that the warm air does not escape out, but stays inside. Take this one. It's too cold outside. Because of this, everything needs to be kept warm. Since the car is diesel, the diesel fuel in the tank completely froze. The car will stay like this for about 3 to 4 hours.
If a local is lucky enough to have a heated garage, they can store their vehicle there for months without risking the engine. As the car was being defrosted, we made our first stop at one of these garages.
The door is very well insulated. There is no open spot in this garage. They use this material. If you see the walls, layer upon layer, and there are pipes here to heat the garage.
We heated the car for 3 hours. Now, we're going to try starting it.
The accumulator is installed. And the oil level is checked using the dipstick.
The first time he opens the door.
Great! Now we'll try to leave the place.
In Oymyakon, survival isn't about conquering nature, but about living in harmony with it. Guided by ancient shamanic wisdom, the Yakut people don't fight the cold, they respect it and endure within its rules.
Look, the temperature does not rise at all.
Here, even the cruelest winters are met not with fear, but with ritual and the unshakable belief that nature gives as much as it takes. This isn't just survival, it's coexistence. With me every step of the way during this journey. He also filmed a video in Oymyakon where he accepted an extraordinary invitation from a local family and captured daily life in this freezing village. Also, while filming with Turgut, we jumped into a frozen river at minus 55 degrees Celsius. One of the most extreme experiences of my life. If you want to catch this unseen footage of the journey and get a much closer look at the region's culture and traditions, click here to watch his documentary.